Good morning, you guys. It's so nice to see you again. If this is your first time, my name is Maggie, and I am a very part-time reseller on the Poshmark app. I have not been doing it for very long, but I have been recording my story on YouTube ever since before the first thrift haul I ever did. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I wanted to get on here today to talk to you guys about sales tax. I am driving about 2 hours south of where I live to do some interviews today, so I have a lot of time in the car to think, and you guys know that that's when I have things to report, when I'm driving and thinking. So anyway, I've been thinking a lot about the sales tax that Poshmark has decided to collect for us, and I've read a few things about people who have said, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to participate in Poshmark anymore if there's sales tax. I don't think that people quite understand what has happened. So, and I'm by no means a tax expert. I'm kind of like the opposite of a tax expert. However, I have had a boutique in the past. I told you guys that. And that's a former life of mine, and I sold the boutique, but I do remember what it was like to have to collect and pay sales tax on a quarterly basis or monthly basis or whatever the state had decided I needed, my filing time needed to be. So anyway, the deal is there's been a law passed that all online sellers have to pay sales tax in the exact same way that brick and mortar store owners have to pay sales tax when they sell things. And that's all it is. And what Poshmark has done is taken the responsibility of collecting and paying those taxes onto themselves instead of making it our responsibility, which is huge. I cannot tell you how stressful it is to be a person who collects and pays sales tax. It's terrible. I mean, you always feel like you've done something wrong, or somebody's gonna just show up and say that you did something wrong. Or there was one time that when my mom passed away, I paid the sales tax just a few days late. It wasn't bad, but I mean, I was in the middle of doing, arranging services and having family in from out of town and all this stuff. And it doesn't matter. It makes no difference why your sales taxes are late. They don't care. I had to pay a small fine, and I had to pay a small interest fee. And it was, and that wasn't the worst of it. The worst is you get a letter that makes you feel like you're going to prison. It's terrible. So, sorry to go on and on about that, but obviously it's something that I'm pretty serious about. It's not something that you want to have to do for your online business. So, this is not something that Poshmark is charging us. This is something that is being collected from our customers, just like if they had walked into any hardware store or clothing store or any other store in your town to buy something. That's all it is. People expect to pay sales tax in regular stores. Now they're just going to have to expect to pay sales tax when they buy online. That's just the way it's going to be. So it's not Poshmark doing something to you. It doesn't change your responsibility as far as being a seller. Actually, it helps you to continue the same type of selling that you've always done. It doesn't impact what you're doing at all. So chill out. This is not a reason to quit selling on Poshmark. Frankly, it's a reason to continue to sell on Poshmark, or even decide to sell on Poshmark rather than on any other platform that doesn't handle the sales tax for you. So that is my soapbox about that. And seriously, you guys, wow. And if you have any questions about it, get an accountant. I know that an accountant can be expensive, but I would never ever do my taxes on my own. I pay a little bit more to have them done for me by an accountant, but I can sleep at night because I know she knows what she's doing. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to taxes. Get an accountant, get a tax attorney, get whatever you think you gotta get, because don't take advice from me, don't do it yourself. Anyway, the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the other day, this was kind of a happy story, move on from taxes to happiness. I was at work and I had my phone on silent, as I should. And I had shared my closet before I left to do what my work was that day. And I sat down afternoon and, you know, grabbed a cup of coffee, looked at my phone, and checked in on Poshmark, and somebody had offered me $20 for a sweater. Now, all day I'd been being a social worker. I had not been a posher all day, except for when I shared my closet that morning. Anyway, I looked on there and somebody had offered me $20 for a sweater, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's a big deal to me, because all I did is I got up and I shared my closet in the morning, went to where I needed to be for work that day, put my phone on silent, and started doing what I needed to do that had absolutely nothing to do with Poshmark. So, anywho, this person sent me an offer for $20 on a sweater, and I accepted it, and so 14 of those dollars were mine. And I had paid 14, or not 14, yes, I got 14, and I paid 14, so I came up with a big old no. No, that's not what I mean. 14 of those dollars belonged to me, and then my cost of goods on that item was $4, so I cleared an even $10 on that transaction, which is not a lot of money, but you guys know that right now $10 is my goal per item, and I will bring that average up, but I feel like incremental goal making, you know, this is my goal now, okay, I met it, now I need to set another goal and meet that goal. Those kinds of goals work the best for me. So anyway, that just takes me back to that time that I talked to you guys about how if you do your Poshmark homework in the morning before you go off to do whatever else it is that you need to do that day, Poshmark kind of during that time becomes a passive source of income. Poshmark were the only people who stopped by and said, hey, we'd like to give you a free and clear $10 today while you're off doing your social work. Nobody did that, only Poshmark. So it was pretty cool. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but it makes me happy, and it shows that my work of sharing and listing really does pay off. So anyway, thank you guys so much for stopping by again. I love talking to you guys, especially when I'm out and about and I get these things in my head that I want to share. It's great to have you right there with me to share them as I go. So on a completely different subject, kind of going on and on today, but on a completely different subject, I've mentioned several times that I'm a social worker. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, which just means that I can work for myself. I don't have to have a supervisor. And the folks that I work with are, a lot of the time, they're registered sex offenders, or they are alleged domestic violence perpetrators. So basically, I spend a lot of time in jails, and I also I spend a lot of time with criminals. And I mean, I know that's not a typical job, and I have done a lot of studying to know as much as I can possibly know about the way that criminals tick and what makes them more statistically likely to offend and what does not. So if you guys would ever want, if you guys have any questions about that kind of stuff, to the degree that I can, I would be way happy to answer those questions. So that's kind of my challenge for you guys today. If you would like to hear a discussion on sexual offenders or domestic violence perpetrators, or you know, pretty much those folks that society would consider to be bad people who have done things to others that have been hurtful, do please put your questions in the comments, and I would be more than happy to answer them. If you're not interested, that's cool. I get it. Not everybody is super interested in the way that the criminal brain works. I am. I'm also very interested in what the life cycle of how a person gets to the point where they commit some kind of a dangerous offense. That is fascinating for me. So again, not fascinating for everybody maybe, but I really enjoy that. So anywho, thanks guys. Please subscribe. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.